Well, Mr. Ramahuma, thank you so much for your time. So you've heard what Leonot said, is that actually they were engaging with you. On the 19th of August, they made a commitment that they were going to honour something that predated their dispensation. They'd started paying some of it out. And although she acknowledges that it might only be finalised in terms of their payment by May next year, she says there was a plan in place. And that's why they don't understand why things went so badly wrong yesterday. Can you explain to me?
Maybe let me start by saying good evening to you and good evening to your listeners. You see, one thing that I've picked up in all what the MMC has been saying is that she's just an enemy of the truth. You know, what she's saying it's the opposite of the truth. We have a forum called LLF, Local Labour Forum, where we sit with them. That's where we engage. Number one, she starts by making an assertion that it was not there before they are the ones who established it. And actually, LLF has been the Institute of Johannesburg in my entire life there. It was there even in 2016 when these things were happening. It died when a certain Herman Mashaba walked into City of Johannesburg and created something, but let's move away from that. After, subsequent to that, when he went out, we continued having LLF with the then administration.
What does LLF stand for? Sorry?
Local Labour Forum. So okay. it's a legislated forum. So you're saying
there was ongoing engagement. She was saying that there wasn't that level of engagement. Is that what you're referring to?
There has always been. Okay. The only time, maybe let's correct her. She may not know, maybe, Shem, and let's pity her. The only time that LLF was not functional was when DA was in power under a certain Herman Mashaba. That was the demise of LLF.
And is that when the 2016 deal was signed? When Herman Mashaba was mayor, when he was still with the DA?
He works in as an aftermath. You know this PFA that was signed? It was signed, it was given birth to by a lengthy strike that we had, predominantly by members of our Pick It Up.
Okay.
I think it took about 5 months. And out of the city realizing that it may have been an unprotected strike, yes, at the time. But the issues that the workers were raising were very genuine and actually were embarrassing the city.
And this is the pay parity problem.
Yes.
And so now there is an agreement and the coalition government in the city saying, look, we are going to make good. So you said to me that there's a couple of untruths from what Leonot has said. Just give me the others that you're concerned about.
Actually, huge ounce of untruth. Okay. Number one was that the LLF, they established it, but let's pass there. Number two, before they started implementing the so-called implementation of September, we said to them, we have learned from the past working with you that you are a bunch of unreliable people who have a hostile relationship with the truth. You agree with us on things or we disagree, but you go outside and say you have agreed. Like just as you are saying now that she has agreed with the union that this thing will be phased up until 11th of May. That's not true. Up until May next year or whenever that they budget.
She said May.
To us, they said the budget adjustment comes in January. You see, unless if there's confusion in City of Johannesburg as to who then becomes mayor. Mayor Mpopaladze was addressing workers today. We had an engagement with her. The issues of budget and what the agreement has been signed today with the city manager makes reference to issues like that, and the understanding is that.
So, okay, I'm just trying to get to this. So what Leonot has said now to me is that they're hoping by the end of, or by the time the next year's money comes through by May, they'll have finished paying all these agreed monies out. You're saying you've been told actually it'll be done by January.
The tentative agreement we have with them is that between the 14th and the 18th, this is this week, they will determine a portion that they can afford to pay.
Okay.
And that money would be paid for.
Can't both things be true, that they can try and escalate and bring some money to your workers during this next week, but then still have the staggered approach?
Yeah, but this staggered approach was, in our understanding and engagement today, the end of it would have been January.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying we are becoming a little bit confused as some. Mayor is saying one thing, but the mayor is being contradicted by MMC. We don't want to enter into the politics of who's a mayor, who's a
I have to say,
mayor.
we did invite the mayor to come and speak to us tonight, but she did suggest Leah not. You're suggesting they're not on the same page. I mean, we were hoping to have the mayor. I want to deal with a couple of the very serious allegations she made. She's accused Samwu of essentially abducting the acting city manager. Did you?
You see, that's why I'm saying we are dealing with people who are opponents of the truth. And I want to lay it open to all the viewers so that they can make their own judgment. It is said that we have abducted or kidnapped the city manager for the whole day, that they were struggling to engage. Maybe we must show pictures of city manager mingling around, not even with leadership, with ordinary workers. Remember, the city manager is not a stranger to City of Johannesburg. He's in fact in charge of city parks and zoo.
So you're saying there was no such thing?
No, there was no such.
Okay, so
and
flat denial.
Yeah.
I want to just get to the other thing she said. She's accused you of political subterfuge, and this is something that's bubbling under. Some allegations that you are party to the politics, and we know that the politics is very heated in the city of Joburg, that as a municipal workers union, you're trying to pile pressure onto the DA-led coalition to make it look even more chaotic than it does currently. What is your response to her accusation of political subterfuge?
You see, in every disease that you have, the biggest signs of it is denialism. They are denying that they have not paid us, and they are accusing us of playing politics. We are not in the political space. And the reason we are not in the political space is because we don't have a say. A say, when you have it in City of Johannesburg in a political space, you would be having voting rights in council. Now, organized labor does not sit there. Why would we play politics? We are pro one thing. We are pro our workers' interests. We are pro their salaries. Any administration, and we have always emphasized.
I have to ask you though, the action that was taken yesterday caused massive disruption to the city. Massive disruption, and not it. You know, obviously it's stressful for people like the mayor to try and have to deal with that. But you know, the people you really inconvenienced were poor South Africans trying to get home in the evening. Why did you do that? It's not fair.
Perhaps, you see, and
the reason and this is why, sorry, I will let you finish, but
yeah.
Because you have access. You have access through your structures as a union to engage with those city managers. Why did you, in a sense, take it out on the citizens of Joburg who were just trying to get home?
You see, what Leonard is not telling the viewers at home, and what she's not telling you, is that the mayor promised that she's coming. You see, what
the mayor what?
Promised yesterday that she's coming.
Yes,
and wait, and perhaps let me explain that.
Does that justify what you did?
No, and let me explain this. And you know, we are dealing with workers who have got genuine grievances here. Now, when you say to them you are coming, and knowing very well that you are not coming, you are also putting pressure on us as leadership of the union to say, because we cannot always be making excuses for them. All what the workers were saying, look, can the mayor come and address our issues? We are Johannesburg Road Agency employees. We are JMPD. The roads there, we could not have, for instance, I'm making an example, went to camp at Nando's or KFC. We don't work for those companies. We wait for the employer where we are employed. And that's where we waited for the mayor.
The reality is you blocked the highway.
And perhaps, which is unfortunate, but perhaps citizens of Johannesburg and residents of Johannesburg must blame it on their number one citizen, the executive
So you're
mayor.
saying it's the mayor's fault, your action that you
Yes.
took. Very, very quickly, because my producer's saying I've got no time. What's going to happen in the next 4 days? Talks continue? Do you think that you're going to hopefully be able to meet each other? I mean, one thing you do both agree on is that there is a deal, there is a signed deal that they're going to honour, even though the time frames seem a little bit all over the place.
The signed deal, and we need to clarify that, relates to a commitment to engage from the 14th to the 18th. So what's going to happen is going to be dependent on two things: their attitude and posture between those dates, and what we give as feedback to our members, how they take it. Remember, we are a mandate-driven organization.
Okay, so that's going to be key. Are you back at work on Monday?
We've never been away from work.
Yeah, just the one day. Today. So you're back at work on Monday.
We have never been away from work.
Yes.
We are at work. Those that are working over the weekends would be working tomorrow.
Got you.
Just as we're working today.
All right. Well, let's hope you do meet each other, because it's in the interest of all of us in the city of Johannesburg. Thank you so much for your time. Karabo Ramahuma.